Northern Sri Lanka life, culture, and economy in Mannar and Jaffna. Northern Sri Lanka, particularly the districts of Mannar and Jaffna, holds a distinct place in the country's cultural, historical, and geographical landscape, separated by lagoons, dry plains, and the Indian Ocean. This region is shaped by centuries of Tamil heritage, colonial influences, and recent post-conflict recovery. Its rural way of life offers a unique window into how communities maintain deep-rooted traditions while slowly integrating into modern socio-economic systems. Geography and setting. Mannar and Jaffna lie on the northernmost tip of Sri Lanka, surrounded by the sea on most sides. Jaffna is characterized by flat terrain, saltwater lagoons, and dry evergreen forests, while Mannar is even more arid and open, marked by scrublands and palmyra palms. The climate is hot and dry for most of the year, with seasonal monsoon rains. Despite the challenging environment, the region's rural communities have adapted over generations to live in harmony with the land. Mannar is famous for its connection to the Adams Bridge or Rama's Bridge, a chain of limestone shoals between India and Sri Lanka, which holds mythological and ecological significance. Jaffna, with its peninsular layout and offshore islands like Delft, Kates, and Karuanaga, is home to unique ecosystems and traditional fishing practices. Cultural identity and language. The majority of the population in both districts is Sri Lankan Tamil, and Tamil is the primary language spoken. Hinduism is the dominant religion, although Christianity, especially Catholicism, has a significant presence, particularly in Mannar, which has a strong Christian colonial legacy. Both areas are known for their temples, churches, and religious festivals that punctuate the rural calendar with vibrancy. In villages across Mannar and Jaffna, cultural identity is preserved in oral storytelling, folk songs, kuthu dance, and temple rituals. Traditional attire like the veshti, for men, and sari or churidar, for women, is still commonly worn, especially during religious or social occasions. Rural lifestyle. Life in the rural villages of Mannar and Jaffna revolves around the rhythm of agriculture, fishing, family, and temple. Many homes are built from cement or clay bricks, with open courtyards and thatched or tiled roofs. Livelihoods are centered around subsistence activities, and self-reliance is a hallmark of the rural lifestyle. Households often cultivate small kitchen gardens with eggplants, chilies, okra, and leafy greens. Livestock such as goats, poultry, and cows are reared for domestic use. In many parts of the region, water is still drawn from wells, and firewood is used for cooking, especially in less electrified areas. The extended family system remains strong. Elders are respected and often live with their children, contributing to family life through child-rearing, agricultural labor, or religious duties. Social cohesion is reinforced through festivals, weddings, and community gatherings at temples or village halls. Agriculture and fishing economy. The primary occupations in both Mannar and Jaffna are agriculture and fishing, although each district has its own specialization shaped by geography and tradition. In Jaffna, agriculture is relatively advanced despite arid soil. The region is famous for its Jaffna onions, chilies, brinjals, and bananas. Farmers rely on shallow wells for irrigation, drawing water through traditional pulley systems or small motor pumps. Smallholder farmers form cooperatives to market their goods locally or transport them to other parts of Sri Lanka, especially to Colombo and the south. Home gardening and palmyra-based products are also important in the Jaffna economy. The palmyra tree, known as the tree of life, provides fruit, sap, used to make jaggery and toddy, leaves, used for weaving mats and baskets, and timber. In Mannar, agriculture is less intensive but supplemented by salt production, cattle grazing, and seasonal fishing. The lagoons and shallow waters of Mannar make it ideal for fishing, crab catching, and shrimp farming. The area also produces dry fish that is exported to other districts. Women often participate in coastal gleaning, collecting shellfish and edible plants for household consumption or local sale. Post-conflict recovery and development. Mannar and Jaffna were among the most affected areas during Sri Lanka's nearly 30-year civil conflict, which ended in 2009. Entire villages were displaced, infrastructure destroyed, and livelihoods disrupted. Since the end of the war, both districts have undergone slow but steady recovery, supported by government programs, NGOs, and international agencies. Resettlement efforts, especially in Mannar, have helped displaced Tamil families return to their ancestral lands. Roads, schools, and healthcare centres have been rebuilt, although some areas still face challenges such as limited job opportunities, underdeveloped infrastructure, and the lingering presence of war trauma. In Jaffna, the University of Jaffna has become a hub for youth empowerment and cultural revival. Education is viewed as a key path out of poverty, and many rural families prioritise schooling for their children. Despite financial hardship, migration and youth trends. An important feature of rural life in northern Sri Lanka today is youth migration. Many young people leave Mannar and Jaffna for Colombo, the Middle East, or even countries like Canada, Australia, and the UK in search of employment and education. This has led to a steady inflow of remittances, which support local economies and contribute to building homes, funding weddings, and improving rural living standards. However, this migration also leads to aging rural populations, with many villages now composed mostly of children and elderly individuals. Efforts are being made to encourage local entrepreneurship, such as small-scale food processing, garment production, and IT training to retain youth within the region. Ecotourism and cultural heritage. Jaffna and Mannar are gradually gaining attention as off-the-beaten-path tourism destinations. Tourists are drawn by their historical sites, untouched beaches, and unique cultural atmosphere. The Jaffna Fort, Nala Kandaswamy Temple, Kirimalai Springs, and Delft Island in Jaffna, as well as Mannar Island, Talaimana Pier, and the Baobab Tree in Mannar, are increasingly visited by both domestic and foreign travellers. Rural homestays, Palmyra craft tours, and traditional food experiences are being promoted as part of community-based tourism initiatives, providing alternative income to villagers while preserving their heritage. Challenges and the road ahead. Despite resilience, northern Sri Lanka faces significant hurdles. Access to clean water, unemployment, mental health support, and land ownership disputes remain pressing concerns. Climate change, manifesting as prolonged droughts or irregular rainfall, adds further pressure to agriculture-dependent livelihoods. At the same time, there is a growing sense of optimism. NGOs, religious institutions, and diaspora support networks continue to invest in education, sustainable farming, women's empowerment, and cultural preservation. Local cooperatives are exploring value-added products, such as organic fertilizers, Palmyra syrup, and dried mangoes, to diversify rural incomes. Conclusion: Mannar and Jaffna, two jewels of northern Sri Lanka, are living testaments to endurance, community spirit, and cultural pride. Their rural lifestyle, rooted in a land and sea, blends tradition with gradual adaptation to modernity. As these communities continue their journey of healing and development, they offer profound lessons in resilience, simplicity, and sustainability. Whether it's the scent of spices from a village kitchen, the sound of temple drums at dawn, or the sight of fishermen casting nets at dusk, life in northern Sri Lanka is an intricate tapestry, woven with hardship and hope, memory and renewal. Northern Sri Lanka, especially the regions of Mannar and Jaffna, showcases a rich cultural heritage and a resilient rural lifestyle. These areas, predominantly Tamil, are marked by dry landscapes, Palmyra trees, lagoons, and coastal plains. In Jaffna, agriculture thrives with crops like onions, chilies, and bananas, supported by traditional irrigation methods. Mannar, with its salt pans and shallow coastal waters, depends heavily on fishing, salt production, and dry fish processing. Rural communities here live simply, often in extended family households, engaging in farming, animal husbandry, and small-scale trade. Palmyra-based crafts, home gardens, and seasonal labour contribute to daily survival. Despite the impact of decades of civil conflict, the region is slowly rebuilding, supported by remittances, local cooperatives, and limited tourism. Cultural traditions remain strong, with vibrant festivals, temple rituals, and storytelling deeply woven into daily life. Youth migration is common, but there's growing interest in education and entrepreneurship. With its unique blend of tradition and endurance, northern Sri Lanka represents a compelling mix of cultural identity,